Hello and welcome back. I wish I didn't have to interrupt all your conversations and your lunches, but we have so much to get done in our 2 days with you that we just have to keep the program moving along. And we've got a great lunch program planned for you. And there are some people who really deserve to be acknowledged and thanked and recognized, and we're going to do that in just a couple of minutes. While you're pausing to listen to these riveting remarks, I will tell you or ask you to give a special pat on the back to any of the many people that you see around the convention center wearing the green badges. That signifies they have volunteered their time to be here for this event and help make it a first-class show that this industry deserves. I think they should get a round of applause as well as a hug later on.
I'm going to make one quick announcement about changing the channel.
Got it.
No, she needs to do this one.
I'm told I'm going to get interrupted for 1 second, so let me yield the stage here. No problem. No problem.
Buenas tardes. Disculpen la interrupción. I'm sorry about the interruption. This is an announcement for interpretation services. Las personas que están utilizando el equipo de interpretación simultánea en esta sala es el canal 1. Cambien su receptor al canal 1, por favor. Gracias.
No habla español. Anyway, please make sure we thank those volunteers. 2 other things real quick. I say this every year, and if I haven't gotten to you yet, now is your time to pay your dues. The Wine Board puts out the Grapevine newsletter every couple of weeks, twice a month. If you are not getting that, will you please make sure that you grab me or grab Carrie or grab any of my Wine Board colleagues who will be spending much of the afternoon at the booths outside on the exhibit show floor. That is the best way for us to communicate with you, and very shortly there will be a mechanism for you to come back to us and tell us more about what you'd like to see in there, and you heard Michelle talk about that a little bit yesterday. Please make sure that you're getting the Grapevine. It's the best way by far for us to communicate with you. I've said this before, this will be my last time. At the end of the day, we desperately want your feedback and your candid comments on the 2-day experience you've had here at the symposium. When we get that from you, it reminds us that that is our trigger to push all the PowerPoint presentations that have been delivered here over the last couple days to make those available. It'll take us just a couple days to aggregate them, but your survey feedback is really helpful. It's done digitally this year, and we want it as soon as we can get it from you because planning for 18 starts tomorrow. So we're very anxious to get your survey feedback. If you don't have access to a computer, there are some hard copies out by where you picked up your badge at the registration area. We'll take that too, but we need your feedback, and that will allow us to get to the PowerPoints. And in a few weeks after we get them edited, all the videos of all the seminars that you've been sitting in will also be available for the first time. That's another, hopefully, really positive addition. So I think we're ready to move on now to the awards part of our presentation. Before I forget, we've been talking a lot in the breakout sessions and even from this stage to last couple of days about the serious threat that is posed to our industry by red blotch. I'm reminded by the USDA's Dr. Deepak Pudiyal, who is here today, that there is a little bit of USDA money that can be used to analyze tissue samples if you send them in from your vineyard to ODA. If you'd like to know a little bit more about that, please grab me or Bob Martin or Deepak Pudiyal, who's also here from ODA. Not a lot of money, can't test everybody's sample from every row of every vineyard, but there are some resources to confirm whether or not you have red blotch. And as you've heard in some of the sessions, it can easily masquerade as something else. So ask me about that if you'd like to hear more. we're finally going to move on. I'm going to kick off the awards presentation by turning the microphone over to our first presenter, and it's Janie Brooks.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Besides having a personal relationship with our first recipient, I was told that you guys needed somebody perky up here during lunch to make a presentation, so here I am. I am presenting the Founders Award today, which basically they're looking for individuals with a pioneering and groundbreaking spirit that have helped to move the Oregon industry forward. As all of us know, there's a lot of new wineries that continue to come into the Oregon market. And if you don't recognize how important the way that's been paved for us from our founders, shame on you. There is at least a dozen of them in the room here today. So please reach out when you find them and thank them for what they have done for our industry, because it's been tremendous. This particular recipient has a favorite Latin phrase that means to be rather than to be seen. He's filled with a genuine attitude. Humility is something that frames him, and he's also very candid. He follows in the world of what you see is what you get, and you cannot be a founder and you cannot build an industry like we have unless you're willing to say no, unless you're willing to ask the hard questions and make those changes. He's been an active participant in organizations that have all benefited us, including the one why we're all here today with the Oregon Wine Board and the Growers Association. He helped to start IP&C, Oregon Pinot Camp, get the sub-AVAs established in the Willamette Valley, the Willamette Valley Winery Association. He's put together many varietal groups focusing on Riesling and Chardonnay in particular to really raise those varietals in the state. He's selfless and tireless. When you think about somebody who started in this industry back in 1980, you would think maybe they would stop contributing to our industry, but that is not the case with Mr. Harry Peterson Nedry. So much not the case that Harry just returned from Brussels, where he's worked for the last 2 months on a petition to get the Willamette Valley known as a place designate by the European Union. So he continues to push forward our industry. Congratulations, Harry. And personally, I will say I would not be here in this industry if it weren't for Harry.
And Jimmy. Thank you. It's not for awards like this that we, who have lots of gray hair, are here. It's because of our passion for grape growing and winemaking. It's also maybe the greatest award. It ends up being hugs from other people that we've worked a lot of years with. We all have common visions of what the Oregon wine industry needs to look like. It's the camaraderie more than anything else that I think seems to signify what Oregon is all about. Thank you. We should be all about not saying too much, too. So, thank you.
Hello. My name is Anna Matzinger, and it is my distinct privilege to present this year's Outstanding Industry Leadership Award to a colleague of ours who I came to know during our time together at Archery Summit, where we worked together for many years, she as wine grower and I as winemaker, and then eventually as co-general managers of the winery and 120 estate acres. So many of you probably know that that recipient of this award is, of course, the well-respected Lee Bartholomew. During our time together at Archery Summit, I came to know Lee as a trusted colleague, an ally, as an advocate, as an excellent listener, and a true friend. I witnessed her grow as a communicator, a consensus builder, and an adept collaborator. Lee is in possession of a special brand of thoughtful pragmatism, cool-headedness, personal warmth, and fundamental goodness that allows her to look quite often beyond her own needs and to surpass them with those of others. Whether it be on an industry level, as a 6-year member culminating in chair of the Oregon Wine Board and president of the Oregon Wine Growers Association, longtime contributor and presenter at Oregon Pinot Camp, advocate and believer in Salud and quality healthcare services, or service on various professional committees, the OWRI, Oregon Wine Board Research Committee, the Live Technical Committee, et cetera, Lee has shown an enduring commitment to the broader success of our industry. Or on an organizational level, leading a crew of strong-willed foremen and opinionated tractor drivers, guiding them to guide their crews and their work for the betterment of the vines and the vineyards in themselves, not to mention her skill at handling those egotistical winemakers. Or on a personal level, engaging with people and getting to know them and their families, comforting a colleague through a family loss, celebrating a quinceañera. Lee leads from within. She approaches problems, issues, opportunities from the perspective of we. How are we going to solve this? How can we make this better? It's not a selfish perspective. It's selfless, and it's one founded on empathy, compassion, understanding, and getting the job done. Lee is connected and engaged in a way that often puts her at the center of things. And yet, it is her gentle ability to transcend the mire in the middle, to keep a level head, to weigh multiple perspectives, and to lift everyone else up that translates and transcends into her special brand of leadership. Lee's current position is with Results Partners, and she's director of viticulture there. And the following thoughts come from 2 of her colleagues there. The biggest compliment I can give Lee is that she makes everybody around her a better professional by solid coaching, trusted leadership, and true teamwork. She's like the key player on a sports team, not concerned about the MVP award, but going after the championship with the team. Any task she takes on gets done well, on time, and with a smile. She has proved many times that kindness is a strength and not a weakness. Lee leads by example, by being supportive, energetic, positive, organized. She projects confidence without ego. Her excellent judge of character allows her to adapt her communication to meet the needs of other personalities, and her positive attitude and constructive feedback make people better. She is good at tackling large issues and breaking them down into smaller, more manageable pieces, and she's continuously focused on advancing our industry, our company, and those around her. So many years ago, Lee was at a vineyard technical meeting, and she came back to the winery, and at this meeting, someone had accused her of being vanilla. Like, Lee, you're so vanilla. And it was kind of bothersome, it got under her skin, and we had to walk around the vineyard and like, what does that even mean, vanilla? Boring, benign, decidedly unflashy, not spumoni. And it came to be our little joke, when she needed a boost of confidence. Hey, Lee, don't be so vanilla. But here's what I think. Think about it. Vanilla shows up, right? Vanilla gets the job done. Vanilla mixes really well with others. And it's like the flavor enhancer. It has a way of making everyone else look good while the work's getting done. So I, for one, have a lot of respect for vanilla. as I do for Lee, and so please join me in congratulating this year's Outstanding Industry Leadership Award, Lee. I hope nobody expects me to rap or anything if I'm vanilla. That's not going to happen. Thank you so much for this award, and I'm just so pleased that Anna was the one to be able to present this to me. It means a lot. I think it's very rare in our lives when we meet somebody who we know we're going to be friends with for a long time right off the bat, and we got the chance to work together for 14 years, and just having a relationship with a person who you know that you might not see them for several months, but you're going to be okay and fall right back into the same place that you were before is very wonderful. So thank you, Anna. Thanks for all that you've taught me. You're a talented winemaker. You're a great friend. You're a wonderful mother. I'm pleased to be up here and having so many nice things said about me. I don't think half of them are true, but I will I'll remember that. And thank you to the Wine Board, and thank you to the Oregon Wine Growers Association. Being a viticulturist, I'm most comfortable walking in the vineyard, and I feel fortunate that I got pulled into a position on the Wine Board, and the rest of the wine industry kind of opened up to me. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that none of us know about, and it's really important to our industry, and I think we all have an obligation to participate as much as we can. So this is a call to action to everyone. There are lots of ways to participate. Find Jana and talk about the land use appeals, or talk about legislative issues, or find Tom and ask him to be put on a committee for research, or for marketing, or for education. There's lots of ways to get involved, and I just feel very happy and grateful that I have been pulled into this, and I'm a little bit grateful to take a little step back. So I hope that people can do whatever your interest is in the wine industry and just help elevate the whole thing. So thank you very much for the award. I very much appreciate it.
Buenas tardes y todos, and kia ora. The Vineyard Excellence Award means a lot to a vineyard manager like myself, knowing firsthand the commitment, the hard work required to work all seasons through all weather conditions. Awards like these really affirm the reliance and the symbiotic relationship that exists across all sectors of our industry, and which are so vitally important for our collective success. It is a tremendous honor for myself to present Juan Ordaz and the Ordaz family from Chehalem Wines for one of the 2 Vineyard Excellence Awards. Juan, por favor. Juan Ordaz and the Ordaz family typify so much about what the Oregon wine community and Chehalem Wines represents, that we were very compelled to nominate Juan for such longevity, hard work, respect, and the recognition he absolutely deserves. Juan, es un placer presentar este reconocimiento, mi admiración, gratitud y respeto por su familia. Muchas gracias por su trabaja desde lo más sincero mi corazón.
Sí, está bien, gracias.
Yeah. I won't apologize for my Spanish skills, but my wife said I probably should apologize for my English skills, but I'm not sure what she's referring to there. But for myself, I can't think and talk about the Shahalem family without considering the Ordaz family. And the same can be said for the two padres of those families, Harry Peterson Nedry and Juan Ordaz. But alas, Harry, I think you've hogged the stage enough today, so now it's Juan's turn. For me, Juan is quite simply remarkable. He's a tireless and reliable vineyard worker who leads our crew and sets the quality bar through all seasonal aspects of important canopy management tasks. Juan being the Padre, El Gran Jefe, being 75 years young last year, and the rock of the Shahalem Vineyard crew for 28 vintages. However, Juan is not only a tireless and extremely reliable vineyard worker, he is a very, very smart man. Evidence of this can be seen by the fact that once he has seen the last of his grapes safely in the hands of our winemaking team, he says his goodbyes and is off to Mexico to enjoy Oregon's winter from afar. I swear during my 7 vintages at Shahalem, every year Juan returns, he looks even more refreshed and ready to tackle the challenges of another Oregon vintage. And for someone like myself who was a mere third of Juan's age, this only inspires me to get excited for the new vintage and the challenges that lie ahead. A true leader and a remarkable man in my eyes. While we are recognizing Juan and the Ordaz family for their efforts, I think it is appropriate to mention Salvador Ordaz, a son of Juan. Salvador was also very instrumental in forming this great family bond between the Ordaz and Shahalem families. Unfortunately, Salvador passed in 2015. However, we should recognize his contribution as well. If indeed the Oregon wine community is built on hard work, resilience, and the feeling that we are all one family, then the Ordaz family, led by Juan, absolutely personifies those traits. Felicitaciones, Juan, y su familia.
Mande, gracias. Muchas gracias.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Earl Jones, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you the next Vineyard Excellence Award winner. This fellow came to Abasala in 2003 with considerable expertise in fencing and trellising. He was also aware of the cycle of the vine and had some experience in pruning. He quickly mastered all aspects of the vineyard. One of the uncanny things that he had was an ability to anticipate what needed to be done next. And that's a very valuable asset. Now, what I want to tell you more is he has other skills. He has a remarkable work ethic and things about his personality that you should know. And, you know, obviously he became a team leader early on, became our vineyard foreman, but some of those other skills, he's an excellent mechanic. He keeps our 5 tractors, several RTVs, and all kinds of other vineyard equipment running. And that's important. He's the only driver that we allow on our steepest Caterpillar-only hills. These are about 43% hills, 45 maybe. And he can manage those hills and navigate them with big things behind the tractor. He has a keen eye and an inventive spirit. If there's an apparent need, he'll figure out some way to make that better. Application of bird net in the fall, you know, to save our fruit, is a very laborious job. He figured out a mechanical apparatus that we can put the netting on and take it off on flat terrain, on hillsides. Pretty remarkable. Construction, installing trellis, of course, projects around the vineyard, and there's always a myriad of those. He's the typical MVP on every project. It's hard to stop him on that. A few years ago, he created a one-person committee and appointed himself chair to decorate for Christmas. It's remarkable. He says that every year, these lightings are not as good as they'll be next year. That tells you a lot about his spirit. He has an outstanding work ethic. He's always the first person on the job. Some people have speculated that he may sleep in the cab over the tractor. He's always there. So now for the last 14 years, we've enjoyed him being with us. He's a really special guy, but it's his jovial personality and upbeat that really helps morale every day. And, you know, for that, we're very, very, very grateful. Darren's mantra, that's Mr. Darren Cook. Here he comes. Darren's mantra is a good day out, a bad day outside is better than a good day inside. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there. I just wanted to thank Earl and Hilda for my opportunity to work with them, and let's make Oregon great, wine great.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's absolutely a pleasure to see Darren get an award. I think he's taught my boys a few things too, and I'm very proud of that. Yeah. I'm here to present an award to a very special person. This is the Industry Partner Award given to a service provider whose cooperative approach has positively influenced the success of the Oregon wine industry and its members. The person that is receiving this award is a great scientist, an absolutely passionate educator, and a wonderful friend. His name is Scott Burns. Scott has multiple degrees from Stanford in chemistry and physics, geology from University of Colorado. He is now a professor emeritus of geology at Portland State University, where he specializes in engineering and environmental geology, soils, geomorphology, and terroir. And he has never met a soil pit he didn't like. And Glenda, I imagine that your life for the past 40, 50 years, driving down the highway is all about stopping at road cuts. Yeah, I'm sure. He's taught for almost 50 years at universities not only in the United States, but Switzerland, New Zealand, Washington, Colorado, and Louisiana. He's taught for nearly 30 years at Portland State University. He's given hundreds of public talks all over the world, authored 2 books, close to 100 journals, and maybe 200 or 300 abstracts for conferences. While his research is mainly in varied topics around geology, and he was even talking earlier about doing some studies on landslides here because of all the rain, his real passion is terroir. He's been a tireless advocate for understanding and communicating others worldwide about the terroir of Oregon. If you ask Scott about the geology, soil, et cetera, about Oregon or the landscape, you're off on a journey where you will learn more about piezolites than you ever imagined. Just ask him. I've been very, very fortunate to interact with Scott on multiple different levels in academia and research as well, mostly on terroir-based research. And our debates over which is more important, climate or soil or geology, have been both inspiring and I think furthered both of our careers in many ways. And you know, it's not so much who wins in that debate, it's the act of trying to figure it out. And I think that that's very much what Scott is all about. While he recently retired, about 2 years ago, a year ago, yeah, recently retired, you would never know it as he continues to work at the level of either a new master's student or a postdoc. It's amazing. We have been very fortunate to have him in Oregon, and we'll continue to learn from his work for many, many years to come. So please join me in congratulating Scott for his achievements and this Industry Partner Award. Thank you.
I'm going to say a couple words and then sit down. I absolutely love coming to this conference every year because the wine industry in Oregon is just fantastic. And I have a lot of heroes. There's one here over the table there, Harry, David, everybody. And so it's fun for me to reconnect every year when I come here. I'm a 6th-generation Oregonian. I grew up here. I went to Beaverton High School and then went away for 20 years and then came back here. And I love teaching at Portland State. We live in a veritable geological wonderland here in the state of Oregon. Wherever you go, there's a story. And it is just so much fun. And this last week I did an Oregon field guide on the Columbia Gorge. And it's superb. But the wine industry and terroir, I feel the best place in the world to taste differences in terroir is here in Oregon. And the different factors that go into terroir, and Greg and I have debated, he wins. Climate is much more important, but geology is important in the different soils that you've got. And so we put together the story for the Willamette Valley, the Gorge, and then we're finishing up for Southern Oregon, and it's fun. And it's my aim, it's my goal in life that every one of the tasting rooms here in our state, as people come in the door, that you will be able to tell them the soils, the geology, the climate, the clones, and everything that go into those because people like the differences that you have got besides the varietals. And so we have a story here in Oregon. I am ready to reach out and help any of you that you want to unleash the story in your vineyard and take it to the next level. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to the Oregon Wine Board, who I've been working with on the geology of all the different vineyard areas here. And thank you, Greg, for an absolutely wonderful thing. Thank you.
What a fun job giving awards out. I wonder if you can make a career out of this. It's my great pleasure to announce the second Industry Service Award to someone I greatly admire. She is a registered nurse with an MBA in healthcare management and the clinical services manager for Salud, Leda Garside. For those of you who aren't familiar with Salud, I'm sure there are some folks in the audience who are new to it. It was created by a group of Oregon winery owners and Tuality Healthcare physicians to address the hurdles faced by seasonal workers who cannot meet their basic healthcare needs. Their temporary status with each employer makes them ineligible for healthcare coverage. And without insurance, these men, women, and their families do not seek professional health care, often until their problems become acute. Salud's mission and Leda's is to fill this gap, and since 1991, the program has been fully funded by the proceeds of the annual Salud Pinot Noir auction and some private donations. Salud just celebrated its 25th anniversary in 2016, and Leda has been there since the inception, leading the charge on this very valuable mission. Her passion and dedication to this cause is an inspiration to all of us. Please join me in congratulating Leda on her Industry Service Award. I have 2 more awards.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank everybody for thinking of me and giving me this award. But this award is not just for me. This award is for the workers that are at the vineyards. And Señor Ordaz, felicitaciones. Marina, qué bueno verte acá. And many other, Miguel, Efren, por allá, otros que están por allá sentados. So anyway, it is just a great pleasure to be here and to get this recognition, as I say, not just for me, but for the workers who are and their families who are helping this industry. And I also want to accept this on behalf of Tuality Healthcare and the foundation and to my team as well. The nursing is an amazing career, and it has provided me a great venue to really practice. So this job has given me a great venue to practice nursing in a very different way. And my clients, my patients, they are my guidance, and they are the ones who really push me forward to continue to do the best job possible with this program. And they have also shown me a great deal about cultural beliefs and practices, vulnerabilities, and also the resilience, because that's what this is all about, and how you adapt to a new culture and to a new place, and the many sacrifices that many have made to commute or migrate to the US. As many as you know, right now we have some issues with immigration, but those are things that we're going to continue to deal on a daily basis, and we're going to do our very best to continue to provide information as comes along. So on behalf of all our team and on behalf of all the workers, thank you for the work, and this award is for you guys. Thank you so very much. Muchas gracias a todos.
And now I get the honor of presenting our 2 awards to our departing board members from OWB, OWA. The first award goes to Dr. David Beck. David and his wife, Jean, who are 2 scientists from New Jersey and decided to come in 2005 to refocus their lives on the pursuit of growing Pinot Noir in the Willamette Valley. But David is a graduate of Princeton University, Johns Hopkins University, and completed postdoctoral studies at Harvard University. Quite an impressive resume. He's an expert in cell culture and human genetic diseases.
Jean, who gets equal credit in my book, is similarly accomplished scientist who worked on the Human Genome Project during her illustrious career. They're now focusing all their time and energy and tremendous intellect on farming Pinot Noir in the Ola Hills in the 15-acre Crawford Beck Vineyard, and they have constantly given back to this community in many ways, especially in the educational arena, and have been a great partner with OSU, with Linfield, and with anyone else who's trying to teach anyone about viticulture. David has just finished 7 years on the Oregon Wine Board. He finished out one term from another director and then served 2 full 3-year terms after that. He has diligently and passionately chaired the OWB Research Committee. I don't know what we would have done without him. He was instrumental in creating a research assessment review process that will serve the organization for decades to come. He's also served as a member of the, I'll call it OSCAR, Oregon Wine Standing Committee on Research. I have to write that down because I can never remember what OSCAR stands for. But it's an important organization that plays a key role in policy work with research and with OSU. This past year, David chaired the Oregon Wine Board and was president of the Oregon Wine Growers Association. His wisdom and focus will be greatly missed at our board meetings, as will his poetry. As chairman last year, David opened every board meeting by reciting a poem from memory. And I sincerely believe that our board meeting attendance went up because we were all so curious to hear what David was going to come up with at the next meeting for his poetic selection. David, on behalf of your fellow OWB board members, the OWB executive staff, and the entire Oregon wine industry, thank you for your intense dedication to our future success.
I will only say that it's been a huge privilege to serve all of you, and I don't intend to quit anytime soon. Thank you all.
I can't top David on poetry. I was tempted to recite one, but I would have messed it up. He's very eloquent with poems. If you ever, just stop him in the hall. He'll recite something to you. The second Departing Board Service Award goes to another dear friend of ours and mine, Michael Donovan. Michael has been working to promote Oregon wines. I'm sorry, Michael, but for nearly 40 years. He looks fabulous, but 40 years. First as co-owner and manager of the iconic Chateau restaurant and wine shop in Ashland, and then as managing director and director of national sales for Roxy Ann Winery in Medford. Since 2013, Michael has been managing director of Irvine and Roberts Family Vineyards, a premier Pinot Noir and Chardonnay producer in Ashland, Oregon. He has also been very active contributor to the Southern Oregon Winery Association and is past president of that organization. Michael also served on the wine board for 7 years, this time due to an error in the governor's office. So their mess up was our gain. We got Michael for an extra year. In 2012, he served as board chair as well as president of the Oregon Wine Growers Association. In addition, Michael has been an active member of the OWB Marketing Committee for over 10 years. And during his board tenure, he served as chair of the Oregon Wine Growers Association Public Policy Committee and has shown tremendous leadership in navigating some very difficult issues within our industry, bringing us to consensus on some very challenging opportunities. Now that he is off the board, he has generously agreed to serve as co-chair for that committee with yours truly, and I'm counting on you, Michael. Please join me in thanking Michael for his relentless dedication to our industry and his never-wavering display of grace under fire.
I just want to say it's been a privilege and sincerely an honor to work on behalf of this industry and to watch it grow. And I look forward to seeing much more growth and many more new faces having the opportunity to serve on this board. Thank you.
And now we have three founders to come up, three founders of our industry to introduce the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Sorry about that. We have the A-List Award to present before our final award.
Well, the best laid plans just went astray. All right. Well, this is pretty special, an award for me to present. And as Ellen just said, I, in a previous life, had a pretty long career in the restaurant industry. And the Oregon wine industry, I think, has a very special bond. Obviously, the relationship that we have with particularly the on-premise accounts across the country, across the world, is one that is very important to this industry, and one that, as we listened to Rob McMillan's presentation on the first day of the conference, we learned that has been declining, that presence of wines on on-premise accounts and wine lists. And I think it even draws more attention to the award that's going to be given today that really honors the people in that industry. The A-List Wine Program of the Award winner sets a standard of excellence for an Oregon wine restaurant program with its depth and breadth of Oregon selections, as well as involvement in education to the consumer. The award program, created by the Oregon Wine Board and the Oregon Wine Press, honors 124 restaurants worldwide this year who display deep appreciation, enthusiasm, and support for Oregon wines, prominent in their wine list varieties and regional diversity. The Oregon wine industry would not be where it is today without the support of the restaurateurs, the sommeliers, the wine buyers, and the service staff, who all act as our frontline ambassadors on a nightly basis. This program allows us to celebrate these established and esteemed restaurants around the world that are showcasing just how food-friendly our wines are. The A-List Wine Program of the Year is the state's standard bearer of excellence, recognizing the depth and breadth in Oregon selections. Both participation in Oregon Wine Month is looked at, plus educational opportunities for that organization's staff and clientele. This year, the A-List Wine Award of the Year goes to Lark's Restaurant in Ashland and Medford. So please join me in welcoming Ava DeRosier. Ava is a good friend. Congratulations. Ava is a good friend, and she is also the director, most importantly here, the director of food and beverage for all the Lark's restaurants, both in Medford and Ashland, and throughout the Newman Hotel Group. Ava and her team have done an incredible job of curating their restaurant's wine list to highlight all the regional diversity of Oregon, plus the high quality of the wines being made here, and pairing it with their farm-fresh cuisine. But there is another side to Ava and her enthusiasm and passion, and that's as a volunteer. She's volunteered tirelessly on behalf of the Oregon Wine Experience to be out and lead a sommelier team for the largest wine event in Southern Oregon, and we're very proud of her, and thank you so much.
What an honor to be recognized for doing something that we believe in and that we love. We are so proud of the wines that are being produced in Oregon and want nothing more than to give our guests the opportunity to know and love them the way that you and I do. To us, the very best meal that we can offer is comprised of ingredients from our own backyard. Staying true to sourcing local for both our food and our wine is truly about honoring community and connection, and it's something that we all need. Jennifer Williamson and Celicia Early, would you please stand up for a moment? These beautiful women who are talented and smart and passionate are our wine buyers for both locations. And I am so proud of the two of you. And I'm so grateful for your commitment to being ambassadors for the Oregon wine industry. So I accept this award for you. Okay. Thank you all so much. Okay.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Adelsheim, and Pat Dudley and Harry Peterson Nedry and I are going to present an award today. I'm going to need your help, though, at a critical point, and so we'll come to that in a moment. But for the moment, just think back, it's 1997, 20 years ago. Yamhill County is kind of the heart of Willamette Valley wine industry, but nobody really knows any of these sub-things. They kind of know Oregon. Yamhill County Wineries Association at that point is 10 years old, and the number of wineries have grown well beyond the stage where all the members could meet around the Blosser's kitchen table. The two signature events, Wine Country Thanksgiving and Memorial Day weekend in Wine Country, have gotten too big for just volunteers and part-timers to manage. The phone's ringing off the hook. We need a map, we need a press release, we need somebody to answer the phone, we need full-time professional help. Who are you going to call?
Sue
Horstman. That's where we need your help.
1, 2, 3. Who are you going to call?
Sue Horstman.
Yeah, that's it. Let's take another snapshot. It's 1999. The 40 wineries of the Oregon Wine Marketing Coalition, which was a group that was in existence at that time, responsible for marketing our wines nationwide, and at a time when the rain-affected vintages of 95, 96, 97 were the ones that we were marketing. We were on the road and had been since like 1994, presenting our wines at trade shows around the country, standing behind tables. You know the drill. We were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so in alphabetical order. Winery principals in many of these places, especially 1999, it kind of came to this apex of frustration, more people behind the tables pouring wine than trade or consumers coming out to taste them. We began, and the we is kind of the A, B, C, Adelsheim, Bethel Heights, Chehalem, in back rooms bitching about things. How can we do it better? And we recognize the fact that we love Oregon, we hate to be on the road, and we bet those people we're trying to attract would want to love Oregon the same way we do. Go home and try to draw people there. Get them out to Oregon. We need what we termed a summer camp. Voila, Oregon Pinot Camp in inception. It's a great idea, but logistical challenges over the top. It's virtually impossible to execute. Nobody had ever done it before. We need professional help. So, who you gonna call?
Sue Horseman.
You bet.
Okay, moving right along, decades go by, actually not that many, it's 2004. The reality of Willamette Valley wine has grown way beyond the anachronistic borders of Yamhill County, but the only real organization that still has any action going is the Yamhill County Wineries Association. New wineries associations, new AVAs are springing up all around the Willamette Valley that have nothing to do with county lines. Oregon Pinot Camp doesn't stop at county lines. But we need to reorganize our wineries association to embrace the new realities. We need to coordinate a transformation from Yamhill County Wineries Association to the big new thing, Willamette Valley Wineries Association. But once again, it's a logistical challenge, hard to get your head around with volunteer help and no one in charge. We really need professional help. Who are you going to call? Sue Horseman.
Don't we need Sue
We
Horseman
need Sue
up?
Horseman to come up here.
We need.
Yes, go ahead.
It's important to define those attributes that basically say it has to be Sue Horseman. Detail-oriented, oh my God.
Bossy, really bossy.
Always a smile. You notice these photographs, one thing is in common. She always looks young and she's always smiling.
But she's always paying attention to the details. No detail escapes Sue's attention.
But there's one detail she will not do. She will not give speeches. It's just terrible. I mean, we want you to be up here, so you need to stand here. You don't actually have to say anything.
She doesn't like to talk. She just likes to make everybody else look good. That's what Sue
And
does.
give orders.
Yes, relentless orders. Well, Sue loves us, and we love Sue.
Yes.
And we just want to say this one thing. A Lifetime Achievement Award can barely begin to express how much Sue has meant to all of us for 20 years.
Yes.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
And now another decanter.
There are way too many articulate people who have been here before me, and I really do not like to speak, but I do have to say that this is an honor I would never have expected, and I didn't want to embarrass myself by shedding tears, but I've done it. And I just want to thank you all for honoring me for a job that I have loved doing, working with people that I love. It's a fabulous industry. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Hello? Thank you for that. What a tremendous assortment, range, and diversity of talents we're graced with in this industry, from our extraordinary vineyard managers to our partners in the restaurant business, to our board members, to our partners who work with us on auction events and charities serving our vineyard communities, to those in our associations who propel our industry forward in their own way and in a very profound and effective way. It reminds me that all of us in any of our jobs, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us and solved problems that we long ago probably forgot about. There's really no more vivid demonstration of the tremendous depth and range of talent in this industry, passion and commitment, energy and dedication than these phenomenal individuals that we've acknowledged today. And there are always many more, but for those who had a chance to stand up in the spotlight today, let's give them one more round. At the wine board, there's a huge sign here. It says, "Time's up." Boy, what a colossal miscalculation. I mean, honestly. I've got a couple more things to say, as you knew that I would. It's easily perhaps confused or maybe just a little bit misunderstood that the managers at the Wine Growers Association and the Oregon Wine Board, that we are employees of the state. We're what's called at the Wine Board a semi-independent state agency, which I won't waste time on, but we're not state employees. And on the Wine Growers Association, we work for a private corporation, the Oregon Wine Growers Association. We are not state employees. I tell the folks that I work with, I'm sorry to say, you will never get a government pension. And I hope that isn't news to them if they're hearing it now for the first time. Unlike some of our commodity board colleagues in other states, we do not work for the governor. We work for, and I report to, the 9 members of the board of directors who, although appointed by the governor, have volunteered from amongst your ranks. We serve you. And there's just no greater honor. I've had a chance to grow up in Oregon. I had a few years working professionally in New York. When I came back to the Northwest where I was raised, I got to work in the wine business at Chateau Saint Michel. Coming back to this role for the last few years, there is absolutely nothing like this community. We are part of something extraordinarily special. And I hope that we go away from these next couple of days acknowledging and understanding and appreciating it for what it is. It is the envy of the wine world, and we should feel great about it, and we should acknowledge the need to take care of it for those that we're going to pass it on to. But on behalf of the management group at the Wine Board and the Wine Growers Association that I get to work with, you are our air supply. You are our energy source, and we just so much value all the positive feedback. Not so much the negative, but we so much value the positive feedback and candor that you give us. Thank you for that. Last thing I want to say before I turn us loose is my colleagues from the Wine Board will be on the exhibit hall floor a little bit later this afternoon, each at individual booths, ready to hear that feedback that I just described. And I want to, again, invite that on all of our programs and activities. I do want to, though, not end our symposium without a special acknowledgement to the woman on my left, your right. These events are obviously team efforts. There's no way to thank all the volunteers who spend their time to deliver the event that this industry demands and that it deserves. At the Wine Board, our quarterback on the symposium is Carrie Hardison, and she came a couple of months ago after being with us for a couple of years, and she told me that her career passion was I'm good. She told me she was going to go follow a different professional voice. I told her to quickly shout that voice down. That was clearly a terrible move. Carrie has so many talents. Many of them are in the fine arts. And she was feeling a desire to do that. And her next step will have her leaving us shortly. She said this to me about 90 days ago.
5 months.
And it would have been pretty easy for her to just phone it in from then on. She did the absolute opposite of that. She has just been an animal on every detail of this symposium, and we're so fortunate that she was. And thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're only 10 minutes over, that's okay. I do want to say thank you all so much. This is such a collaborative community, and everyone has welcomed me with open arms, and the support that I received and your volunteer hours in the committees was so supportive, and I really thank you. And it was a really hard decision, but I am moving on to the fine arts field, so I want to thank you all very much.
Carrie won't be going terribly far. She'll be with us transitioning to her successor over the next couple of weeks. But like I just said, yeah, it'll be, wherever you go, it'll be a dangerous, reckless experiment. We know you'll be back. When you are, we'll be here wrapping our arms around you. I think they're serious about this time's up thing. We're going to cut you loose. Thank you very much. We'll see you back here a little bit later in the afternoon.